Ancient wisdom. 7 body parts you must wash to live a longer life. They say time is a thief, but the elderly know it's also a teacher. There's a reason why people who've lived through war, love, loss, and laughter carry a glow in their eyes. It's not just age, it's wisdom. And buried deep in their everyday rituals are secrets we've forgotten in our rush to do more, be more, prove more. One of those secrets, the sacred act of washing certain parts of the body with intention. It sounds simple, even strange. But ask any grandmother in the countryside, any grandfather who rises before dawn, and they'll tell you longevity isn't just about medicine, diets, or gym routines. It's about how you live, how you care for the vessel you're given, and sometimes it's the quietest habits that carry the loudest truths. There are parts of the body that the elders treat with reverence, not because they're taught to in books, but because life taught them. Over the years, they've learned that these areas hold more than bones and blood. They hold energy, history, emotions, burdens, and dreams. And when you cleanse them, not just rinse them, but truly wash them, you're not just removing dirt, you're releasing stress, you're honoring your journey, you're allowing the soul to breathe through the skin. So before you scroll away or write this off as superstition, let me ask you something real. Are you living to survive, or are you living to last? Because those who live to last know this. It's not the grand gestures that keep you young. It's the sacred ones, the ones that seem small but done every day. Add years not just to your life, but life to your years. Today, I want to walk you through 7 parts of the body that elders wash with intention. Not out of vanity, but out of respect for the life they've lived and the life still ahead. Some of them you've never thought twice about. Others you've ignored for years. But after this, you'll see them differently. You'll feel them differently. And maybe, just maybe, you'll start to understand why the ones who've lived the longest often carry the deepest peace. Ready to learn the quiet rituals of the long-lived? Let's begin. Number 1. The hands, carriers of legacy. Look at your hands right now. Not in passing, but really look. The lines in your palms, the creases around your knuckles, the subtle calluses forming from work, from life. Each one tells a story. Now imagine those same hands 60 or 70 years from now. What will they have touched? Who will they have held? What will they have built or let go of? To the elderly, hands are not just functional. They are sacred. They've wiped tears from a child's face, held the trembling fingers of a loved one in their final breath, clapped in joy, clenched in anger, opened in generosity, and every wrinkle is a chapter. Every scar is a lesson. That's why when elders wash their hands, they don't rush. You can see it, their fingers move slowly, purposefully, as if in conversation with their own history. It's not just soap and water, it's ritual. A moment to acknowledge all their hands have been through. A nurse once told a story of an 89-year-old woman who washed her hands in silence every night before bed, whispering the names of the people she's helped, the babies she's delivered, the letters she's written. "It's my way of remembering," she said. There's something powerful in that. When you wash your hands with intention, you're not just removing what the day has left behind, you're honoring your hands for carrying you through it. And maybe that's the wisdom we've lost, that the smallest gestures done with presence become sacred. Your hands don't ask for applause, they just want to be acknowledged. The elderly know that a long life isn't just about years, it's about never forgetting the value of what's right in front of you, or in this case, what's always been in your grasp. Number 2. The feet, roots to the earth. We walk thousands of steps a day and think nothing of it. But the elderly, they walk differently. Even when their steps slow down, each one is filled with meaning. because their feet have carried them through decades of hardship, heartache, and hope. And when they wash their feet, they treat them with the respect you'd give to an old friend who never once let you down. Think about this. Your feet are the only parts of your body that touch the earth every single day. They feel the cold of tile, the warmth of soil, the sting of gravel. They hold your weight when you're strong and when you're broken. They never ask for thanks, but they deserve it. In many ancient cultures, washing the feet was an act of humility and love. In families, elders would wash their parents' feet to show reverence. In spiritual traditions, it's a symbol of grounding, cleansing, even healing. The elderly have not forgotten this. That's why they often end their day by soaking their feet. Not to relax, but to reconnect, to feel the earth again, to remember the miles they've walked, and to bless the miles ahead. One old man once said, "Every night I wash my feet and I remember the roads I took when I didn't know where I was going, and I thank them for not giving up on me." There's something deeply emotional about that, because when you care for your feet with intention, you're saying to yourself, "I honor the journey, I value the path." And that shift from neglect to gratitude is what makes the difference between simply aging and truly living. So the next time you take off your shoes, pause. Trace the arch of your foot. Feel the firmness of your heel. Wash them slowly. Thank them silently, because maybe the secret to a longer life isn't found in a bottle or a breakthrough, but in these quiet rituals that remind us where we've been and prepare us for where we're going. Number 3, the face, the mirror of the soul. Your face is the one part of you the world sees before you even speak. It's where your laughter lines live, where worry rests in your brow, where time leaves gentle marks of memory. But for the elderly, the face is more than skin. It's the mirror of the soul. It's a canvas that's witnessed every emotion, every transformation. And they don't just wash it to stay clean. They wash it to reconnect with who they are beneath everything life has layered on. Have you ever watched an elder wash their face? It's not rushed, not mechanical. Their hands move in slow, circular motions, as if smoothing over memories, waking up the self that hides beneath the surface. They don't avoid their reflection. They greet it, softly. There's a quiet grace in that moment, because they see not just the lines, but the stories behind them. One woman in her 90s once said, "Every morning I wash my face and remember who I was at 16, 40, and 70. All of them are still in there." That simple act of cleansing becomes a sacred pause in the noise of the world, a way of grounding identity, of saying I've been through a lot and I'm still here. The face also holds energy. The tension in the jaw from unspoken words, the heaviness in the eyes from sleepless nights, the soft cheeks where laughter used to live. And when you wash it gently, you're not just refreshing the surface, you're telling yourself, you are seen. You are still beautiful. You still matter. The elderly understand this. They don't chase youth. They embrace presence. They wash their face not to erase the past, but to greet the day with the strength of everything they've survived. And maybe that's the kind of strength we all need more of. Not polished, not perfect, but real. Number 4, the ears, gateways to wisdom. The ears often go unnoticed until they stop working. But to the elderly, ears are sacred gateways. Not just for hearing, but for listening. And there's a big difference. Hearing is passive. Listening is intentional. And those who've lived long know how powerful true listening can be. When an elder washes their ears, it's subtle, almost unnoticed, but it's done with care. Because they understand the importance of keeping those channels clear, not just physically, but symbolically. A clean ear is a reminder to stay open, to voices, to experiences, to truths that may be uncomfortable but necessary. You see, the elderly didn't get wise by talking the most. They got there by listening when it mattered, listening to their children, listening to the wind outside their childhood window, listening to silence, when grief stole their words. And when they wash their ears, it's not vanity, it's reverence. It's a soft ritual that says, I'm still open. I still want to learn. I still hear life calling. There's an old saying, wisdom begins in silence, and silence begins with the ears. Clean ears are more than healthy, they're symbolic. They remind us that we're never too old to learn, never too proud to listen, never too busy to pause and absorb what life is trying to say. So the next time you stand before the mirror and run water past your ears, ask yourself, what am I open to hearing today? Because maybe longevity isn't just about how many years you live, but how deeply you listen while you're here. And those who live the longest, they've mastered the art of listening to the world, to others, and most importantly, to themselves. Number 5, the neck, the bridge of connection. The neck is one of the most vulnerable parts of the human body. It carries the weight of the head, supports every nod, every glance, every turn. But for the elderly, the neck is more than anatomy. It's a bridge, a quiet passage between the mind and the heart, between thoughts and feelings, between what we say and what we suppress. It's easy to forget this part of ourselves. We scrub our faces, shampoo our hair, but the neck, it's often skipped. Not by elders. They know. They've lived long enough to understand that this area stores tension like a sponge. The stress of words unspoken, the pressure of responsibilities carried too long, the strain of looking forward when you're still aching from the past. When an elder washes their neck, it's slow, thoughtful. Their hands trace every inch with care, almost as if they're giving their body permission to relax, to breathe. There's wisdom in that act. It's not just about physical care. It's emotional release, a quiet undoing of all the weight that's been silently resting there for decades. One elderly man once said, "When I wash my neck, I imagine rinsing off the voices that told me I wasn't enough, and I let them go." That's not just hygiene. That's healing. That's a level of self-awareness that only time can teach. Your neck connects your thoughts to your heart, and when you tend to it with care, you're not just nurturing your body, you're strengthening your ability to live with clarity, compassion, and courage. The elderly understand this. That's why they guard this space like a sacred threshold, and maybe we should too. Number 6, the chest, home of the heart. Behind your chest lies your most vital organ. Not just the heart that pumps blood, but the heart that holds love, grief, fear, hope, memory. The chest is a container, a vault for every emotion you've ever felt, and every moment you've ever tried to forget. And the elderly, they know just how heavy that space can become. When they wash their chest, it's not just to freshen up, it's to release. You'll often see them move slowly over their heart, almost as if they're comforting it, as if they're saying, "You've been through so much, thank you for still beating." Because the truth is, the chest holds the deepest echoes of life, the laughter of long-lost friends, the ache of regret, the warmth of first love, the sharp stab of heartbreak. And if we never take the time to clear that space, to truly cleanse it, the weight begins to harden us, to exhaust us. There's a quiet ritual in this kind of washing. The elder who lost a spouse, but still places their palm gently over their heart every night in the shower. The woman who survived a war and whispers a blessing as she runs warm water across her chest. These are not empty actions. They are moments of release, of remembering, and also of letting go. So the next time you step into water, place your hand over your chest. Feel your heart beating, right here, right now. Wash that area not just with water, but with tenderness. Because the elderly know what we often forget, that the chest isn't just a part of the body, it's the center of your being, and caring for it with love is one of the purest paths to peace, and perhaps to a longer, more meaningful life. Number 7, the back, the weight you carry. Out of all the parts of the body, the back is the most overlooked. It's hard to reach, easy to ignore, and yet it's where we carry everything. Burdens we don't speak of, stress we pretend isn't there, trauma we never learned how to release. The elderly know this better than anyone. Their bags have carried decades of labor, responsibility, sacrifice, and when they wash their backs, it's not just for cleanliness, it's for release. Watch an elder reach for their back during a bath. There's effort in it, but also purpose. They stretch not just their arms, but their past. Because deep down, they know that whatever isn't washed away eventually stays stuck, and when pain lingers long enough, it starts to shape you. Your posture, your energy, your joy. There's an old man who once said, "Every night I wash my back like I'm brushing off everything I didn't get to say. The disappointments, the arguments, the things I let go unsaid." That's powerful, because we all carry weight, emotional, mental, spiritual, and the back becomes the silent shelf that holds it all. The elderly understand the value of letting go. That's why washing the back is a ritual of freedom. It's a physical way of saying, I no longer need to carry what's behind me. And in that simple act, they lighten not just their body, but their soul. So when you feel the ache between your shoulders, when your back tightens from another hard day, don't ignore it. Reach back. Wash gently. Forgive deeply. Because the ones who live the longest often do so not because they've never carried weight, but because they've learned how to let it go. Conclusion. The rituals that keep us alive. Longevity is often painted as luck, genetics, or science. But sit with the elderly long enough, and you'll learn something more sacred. Sometimes it's the quiet, daily acts of reverence that make the real difference. Washing the hands to honor the work you've done. Washing the feet to thank the journey you've walked. Washing the face to reconnect with who you are. Cleansing the ears to stay open to life. Caring for the neck to release the tension between head and heart. Tending to the chest to heal emotion. Reaching for the back to let go of what you no longer need. These aren't just habits, they're ancient wisdom, passed through generations like heirlooms. Rituals of remembrance, practices of presence, and if you do them with intention, not just for hygiene but for healing, you begin to live differently. More consciously, more gently, more fully. Because maybe the secret to living to 100 isn't about running from age, but about embracing life in its most human, most present, most sacred form. So tonight, when you step into the shower or lean over the sink, don't rush. Don't just clean. Connect. Give thanks to your body, to your journey, to the life you're still unfolding. Because those who live the longest aren't chasing time, they're cherishing every moment. And that, more than anything, is what makes life long and love last.